Hey everybody, it's Elizabeth and welcome back to the farm, aka my yard. And thought I'd bring you guys a bi-weekly garden tour just as it's getting to be sunset. I've tried to film this last several days in a row, but it's just been so hot outside when I was free to do it. So finally getting it done today. And I'm just completely always bewildered and like just amazed by these banana trees. They're so huge. Still not fruiting yet. Keeping an eye on that. But what I wanted to note is that yard work all got done this week during the week, so we've had a really calm weekend, which is good because my husband's actually been sick, so he's been able to rest and relax. I finally got caught up on my watering and fertilizing schedule for my landscape plants. So some are doing really good. I put some new ones in the ground recently I need to show you, and I also got 3 new ones that I've not put in the ground yet and probably won't today because I'm really enjoying relaxing. So I'm just going to show you everything that's going on, and some things actually look different from the last video, so that's always fun. And as with most beds, I still have weeds in a lot of places, so we have that. And we do have the evening sun popping up over the trees still, but this is the most this new rose has flowered. I just put it in this spring, and I'm just loving all these blooms, and these smell fantastic, which is why I put them here. You can see these weeds here coming up through the landscape fabric. They're yellow because my husband came through and carefully sprayed them around my plants. I've started to do some pulling. But anyways, so we will work on that. Here are some new things I put in. This is like a little, this right here looks like it tried to break. But anyways, you can see it's got these little purple flowers. And put in this guy, which I think is a coleus. And then this, which I think is a penstemon or a sun patient, I can't remember. My panicle hydrangea that I've had for many years that just finally started blooming the other day is just continuing to put on new buds, but the plant itself is getting that like rust spot, so I need to spray it. But I'm really happy with how it's growing and blooming now. Yay. I put in some bird of paradise here because we love tropical vibe. It's going through a little shock, and I think it'll be okay. I might have to trim off the ones that look pitiful there, but eventually it'll be okay. This is another new rose that we put in this year. You can see it's putting on this new growth, and it's got some buds on it right now. Look how tiny they are. Oh, so cute. Anyways, so that's fun. I really wanted this and that rose to really be enjoyed from the deck. So far, it's going well. Let's see. I don't know if I did work in this bed before the last video or not, so I will clarify. So this house has been here for a while. I planted that evergreen just a couple weeks ago. This is a new addition. It's a perennial, and I love it. I don't think it gets much bigger than this. I bought it this size. And then this is the a plant I've actually had setting here in a container for months. Let me remember what this is called. Azalea. Okay, it's an azalea, but usually those get pretty big. Look at that flower. It's just been in the ground like 4 days. I'm so happy. This azalea is a compact version, and it only gets like 3 by 3, so that's fun. So I put that there. This yellow rose I'm debating taking out because it's been like just tall and lanky like this forever. I've had it here I think 4, maybe 5 years. Just not loving it. So here are my new plants. Okay, so this is another banana tree. This one is a perennial, but probably not one that will fruit in our zone, but it will come back every year. My husband's really loving all of the tropical plants I've added this year, so I got more. And then we've got this new guy because I just love this really light purple color. It is a perennial Cape Plumbago. So that's cool. Really like that. Almost everything here is weeds. So that's why I set them here, because I'm like, okay, I'm just going to kind of redo this section, whether I pull out the rose or not. And then this is a bunch of lemon balm that keeps coming back. I do have some succulents in here, if you can see them right here. But then also this weed comes in here all the time. Very annoying. It's hard to pull them and not disturb the succulents, so I'm just gonna do something different. This is a new rose I just bought. It was blooming at the store when I got it, and it's a really pretty true red. But I like the shape of it. Cause see, it looks like it's gonna be more like a bush, like my knockout rose out there, rather than this, whatever this mess is. I just don't love it. I love that color. I have pruned it before and that did not help. So if you have any tips on helping this to like grow more like a bush, that'd be great. So this banana tree, they were growing some succulents in it, which is fine if they survive, cool, but I am going to put this in the ground. Let's see. That's another evergreen I just put in recently. Let's see. Trees are doing good. Got everything fertilized. There's some other fun new developments over here. The sun is still really bright, unfortunately. Okay, so I've not mulched this yet. I was going to do that this weekend. I went and bought more mulch. It's over there. But I'm just going to give myself time off this weekend. So this is my other panicle hydrangea. I transplanted it over here when we did the deck this spring. And it was really struggling. So I had to trim it back a lot. And now it has just put on its first bloom, which is so exciting. Another cool thing is this is a wild rose that I had in a front flower bed by the front walkway. It was actually a David Austin rose, but it was grafted to a wild rose rootstock, and it died, it never did well. And so then the second year when it came back from the root, which is the wild rose. So this one gets it gets to be like at least 4.5 feet tall, but it sprawls in all directions. So the 2 years that we had it up by the house, I would have to constantly prune it so it wasn't hanging in the walkway poking people. It has a really simple flat white or red blossom. I don't love it, but I thought, okay, look, I've got this whole space here, so if I could move it somewhere where it could sprawl and be happy, cool. It looked literally dead for probably 3-4 weeks, and now it's putting on new growth, so I know it's going to be fine. Another cool one is this one is new this year. This is a perennial hibiscus that gets big red blooms on them. But the cool thing about it is when it puts on its new leaves, they're like pink and green. Look how cute that is. Oh my god. And it's really going to pop against the dark mulch when I get that down. So that'll be fun. All these evergreens here are doing really well. Those went in this spring. Let's see. This right here, that is a big weed I need to pull. What's happened here is this is a bed that, it was a bed, and then we just put this whole bed around it. And we've got monkey grass up there, which is blooming and happy, which is cool. This is our Japanese maple. And right around that is yarrow, which if you look hard, you can see it looks like ferns. But all this other stuff on the outside is actually grass, because this used to be lawn and we would mow it. And so I've got to come through and really clean this up before I do the landscape fabric. So that will be happening soon. Over here, this is a rose that went in this year. Just thought that would be cool right here. This one was one that also smelled like amazing. I wasn't planning on getting a new rose, but when I went to the store and I smelled, oh, it's like perfume. So good. I had to have it. She bloomed a couple of times and then has struggled for like several weeks, I think because of our heat and everything, but we got that huge torrential, like huge downpour. She finally started blooming again. This is one of my morning glory mounds. I don't know how well you can see that. I literally just have like a little lattice thing in there that's way smaller than this one, and it has just created this huge mound of vines. It's always doing this and trying to grow onto my other plants, so I come and get it and literally just pull it off. Look at this, how long these arms are. This one's on the back side there. Just pull it off. I ain't worried about hurting it. If it survives, yay. If not, yay. But yeah, it grows over into this grass. This is a zebra grass. So Anyways, look how tall this zebra grass here is, like maybe 4 feet tall, and then this one right here is probably 6. You see how tall that is? But that's so pretty in the light. It looks like it's kind of see-through, but it's just got white stripes on it. And then this is another perennial hibiscus. Is in the Rose of Sharon family. These are from Proven Winners. I ordered multiple of these online years ago. This one has struggled in this spot because it's very dry here, but it's also on the down slope of a hill, so it's not retaining much moisture. But it did, where did it go? It had a bud on it. There it is on the ground. Had a bud on it yesterday for the first time in weeks, and now here it's budding up again. So I think once I get this area finished and mulched, I'll kind of use the mulch to kind of like dam up this side. Maybe that'll help capture some runoff. Here's where we get to the area where I have actually done the landscape fabric and mulch and all that jazz, and everything through here is doing good and looks really good. This is another one of those morning glories that I have to keep pulling off of other plants, and I just throw it back up on itself. And look, you can tell, look, that's just on another one of those little arches in there. It's funny looking, but it looks kind of like a shrub, and I just wanted to add some kind of annual in between my perennials that would be color, and so it fits the bill. Makes me happy. Pretty much every other plant in here is a perennial, and then I fill in with annuals. We've got butterfly bush, knockout roses. I really love the shape of these. I think they're some of my prettiest roses. I hope my 2 newer ones will have a similar shape. These are perennial herbs and sunflowers. Over here's my thyme with butterflies on it. No, I think that was oregano. Yeah, that other one's oregano. This is thyme. Hike you up here really quick. This container, let me see if we get out of the sun. Really love this, and these black glads, which you can see in the sun, they're like a burgundy, but they're still really beautiful. Got 2 of those that have opened up. So pretty. This is a sedum that does well. I don't like how it like sprawls in the middle, but I mean, it's happy. This area here, I haven't been loving this spot back here, but some of that greenery you see is a flower that I had over there, and I transplanted it over here, and it was just kind of its time of year to kind of die back. It is a perennial, but this over here is weeds I just hadn't gotten to yet. I'd say probably about a week ago I came out here and spent several hours, and I pulled 3 wheelbarrows full of weeds. So there was a ton, and I definitely have kind of fallen down on the weeding game this summer, but I'm just giving myself grace. Check out this view. I love this over here. That new bird of paradise right there. Oh my gosh, mosquitoes. Big mosquitoes on my legs. I hate mosquitoes. Okay, so anyways, love that over there, especially right now, the pop of the white rose. Gorgeous. Okay, we're going to keep moving so I don't get eaten by mosquitoes. So this video is not too terribly long. I will just take you to the cottage garden where we'll wrap up what I do. Oh, I put in this lantana here. This is another new addition. It's a multicolor orange and yellow lantana. I try to grow them every year, but a few years I have forgotten. And when I look back through my garden photos, I'm like, oh my god, I didn't grow lantana. It's an annual here for us because it needs to be like zone 9 or 10, I believe. And anyways, so I picked up one that was a pretty good size, and hopefully it'll be happy these next couple of months. I put it here. This is where I dug up that wild rose that would grow all the way out into the pathway here. And this is, of course, it's a mounding plant, but it will fill in all this area. So that'll be fun. Everything over here is doing okay. I just have like little things. Like this is a mini rose. I'm not seeing it get any bigger than that. It's meant to be short, and it puts on these tiny little rose buds. This is like a perennial succulent, and I don't know what this is. I wish I could remember. I feel like it's like penstemon or something. Not sure, but it's a perennial, as is another little purple one I put in there. So they'll probably thrive more next year with their second year here, but we will see. And then I have the 2 new roses I put in here this year. This is a third that I got. I got 3 at a time at this when I got the 2 that are over by the deck that I showed you that are blooming right now. Well, one is the white one, and then the other little pink one. This is from that same family. It's a very fragrant variety. I don't remember what color it is. It's not flowered yet. So this one actually lived in one of my raised beds temporarily, and I finally just put it here and thought, okay, we'll make a little rose wall shield, because you know roses get huge in time. This is another one that was a newer one this year, and it lived in a bed temporarily, and now this is its first bloom, which is pretty. So I can't wait until this bush is big. They took a while once planted before they really started doing anything. So we will see. This is also a perennial. This is called Mexican grass, so that will get bigger next year too. Here is a look at the garden. Get in the right spot. The sun is trying to peek through the oak trees. There's one I wanted to show you. Okay, so this right here is a rose I got at a local nursery and was so excited. Look at that. It's lilac. That is so pretty. I planted this up by our front door and our front porch, where we had a rose there for a long time that had started dying back, and my husband had probably had it there like 10 years, so I figured it was probably just done. So we pulled it, put this there, and it was bigger than this and had like 5 blooms on it. It died within a week. Like everything started just dying back. So I yanked it up out of the ground and we put it in here. All of my raised beds in the cottage garden are my temporary holding place for sick plants, so that I can keep a closer eye on them. And now she's finally coming back to life, and it's got that cute little bloom on it. So I don't know where I'm going to move it. We'll just kind of see. I'm not going to show you guys everything today because we're trying to keep it a little quicker. Yeah, that is a cucumber wrapping around a tomato. This is now I can't remember. It's a basil with a purple flower. Thai basil? Yes, Thai basil. And I usually pull these off, but I haven't been just for like the last few weeks. But I did before because I wanted the plant to get big, and now it's a really good size. So, which I just grow this kind of as an ornamental. Sometimes I'll save the leaves, sometimes I don't. These are, it smells like licorice. Let me just say that. It's like a garden perfume, because you just touch it or pull one of these off and that smell is just all around you, and I love that smell, even though I don't like licorice. So here is the cucumber that we have up there. We have multiple ones, and we're getting a lot off of this one now. Over here is purple basil, and the peppers over here struggle. This is chocolate mint. Let's see if it's dry. Yeah, it's very dry. I just watered this yesterday, so this is trying to die. Stuffing containers is really hard for us once it gets really hot here, because it gets so hot. All right, so this is like a wild tomato bed. Got some in here. Check that out. Woo. Oh, and there's 2 more down there. That's fun. This is a bed that has a lot of different varieties in it. And it's like a cat face one down there. Because I just wanted to grow these. I started them from seed, and it's not orderly, but I'm loving the wildness of all of this, because like that's just how they would grow in the wild, you know. We've got some weird shaped ones here. I wonder what that is. Look at that. This looks like a older version. Oh, there's some more down there. And here's another one. So let's see. Martino Roma, it might be that. And then we've got Vernissage Art Colors. I'll show you that. That's on the trellis over here to the right. And I had put these tags. There's another tag over there. There's a regular basil here. But yeah, I love the wildness. So this one growing up here is Vernissage Art Colors. And they put on these small tomatoes. Kind of like salad tomatoes, are a little bigger than cherries. Like, see, these are pretty good and developed. But you see how they're stripy? They will end up being any one of 4 colors. So they start to change as they get older into the different colors. And that's why they're called Vernissage Art Colors. I had so much fun just watching them grow before. That's one thing. Some people think that if you vegetable garden, you should only grow things you eat. I find an immense amount of joy out of just watching things grow, or starting things from seed and seeing how they turn out, growing them in different ways and trying experiments and stuff like that. And so this is one I grew over in my really big garden a couple of years ago. And I think this seed is actually from that same packet. I don't think I ordered more. And so, yeah, I don't actually like cherry tomatoes or salad tomatoes. I don't know why. I just don't like them. So I already know I'm not going to eat these, and neither will my husband. But I feel happy watching them grow, watching how the colors change and the stripes appear or decrease, and the shoulders changing colors as they mature. For me, it's like watching a flower grow, and it makes me happy. So I grow them. And, you know, worst case, or I guess really best case, we'll give them to someone, family and friends. We give away a lot of stuff these days because we always grow too much cucumbers and yellow squash. We typically try to keep all of our tomatoes because we can those, but those being that small, if you're going to can them in a way where they need to be peeled, like if you're going to do like tomato juice, which is the biggest #1 thing that we can, then peeling something that small is not rewarding for the amount of effort you have to put into it. So that's not fun. In this other bed here, this is where I pulled some weeds just yesterday. They were in here. And what we have here are 2 zucchini plants. I started by seed late because none of the ones we did out in the big garden came up. And here we've got a few hostas that I had put here in order to save them before I move them somewhere else. I actually have probably about 10 in different places that are temporary. We do have a tomato over there. It doesn't look like it's doing too hot. And this is a red trumpet vine, started from seed. And there's one too, but this one is actually like climbing up. That is a perennial vine that will arch over this whole archway, and then we'll just stay there every year. So I'm looking forward to that. I love this area, but I really need to weed, because I can tell you this is a weed, and this is a weed, and that is a weed. But then inside there, this is our healthiest, happiest hosta we've ever had. So I would really love to split that next year into 2 or 3 and move it around, because every other hosta I have is this variety and they struggle. Now these are okay, but these literally never see sunlight. So all my other ones that struggle may only get a couple of hours of sun a day, but they just are not happy. So apparently they just need like real deep shade. Like, see, this is all one weed here. Don't know where that came from, but this right here shouldn't be in there. I don't know what that is. I'm trying to pull it out without messing up my hostas. I've got a few hostas in there. But see, here is one hosta, and here's a different kind. Here's a different kind. So it's like, that's like 3 or 2 baby ones. But anyways, yeah. So that's another one of my resting places for displaced hostas. This red rose here, I don't love the shape of this guy because like that yellow rose, it's like, okay, it's eye height. That's how tall it is. But it's like just sprawling. But it's so happy, and I love the red blooms. I can see this so clearly from my office window. So I enjoy that aspect of it. These over here have literally been completely eaten, and we have sprayed these, but these beds I kind of just totally neglected this year, so that's my bad. I've got this random vine growing here. I was curious as to what it was, so I've left it, and it continues to grow. Still don't know what it is, but yeah. And then just to touch on this area super quickly, the hollyhocks have died back, the flowers here. These all need to be cut off. These are all seeds inside there. I usually save them every year, but I don't know if I'm going to this year because I have a ton left over from last year. And so I think I'm just going to, like, if it would just keep spreading itself this way, because this is the mother plant and these are all came up the second year. So this is one of my hostas that dies. It does this every year. Look how sad that is. I don't know why it's doing that. I don't know why this died. Put that plant in there. So anyways, if the hollyhock wanted to spread this way, that'd be cool. This is one of my hibiscus that puts on these like burgundy flowers, and it's been behind its other fellow plants of the same species but different colors, but it has bloomed some this year, and it's only been in this spot since like late last summer, and they die back in the winter, so it was just kind of slow to putting its size on. If you compare it to this one, they're literally the same thing, and you see how much smaller this looks. It's not as broad, it's not as tall, but it's right here against the house where it probably gets some shade, and it's just not happy. This is like that one I showed you along the front of the house that's in the Rose of Sharon family that just bloomed the other day for the first time. That one is like a really light lilac. This one is white. This is the first time this one has done this. I put it in here back in this corner. I don't know if it was not getting enough sun because it's kind of blocked by, you know, dappled lighting through the fence here, but then of course shade from these trees. But either way, it's actually healthier. There's more leaves on this than that other one up at the front. And so this one I think is about to just start being really happy. When these are like full grown, like a couple of years old, they're supposed to be 8 or 9 feet tall and like I think 4 feet around. It's like a really good shrub that puts on lots of flowers. Look at all these little buds. So it's starting, so maybe we'll see it really come into its own this fall. That would be lovely. Look at that. And I'm really digging the white bloom against the contrast of the green leaves. That is really stunning. Come back over here. This is a morning glory. It looks like it's trying to die. But I think I showed you this in the last video. This is a volunteer pumpkin. Actually a few. And these are like Jack B. Littles. And then there was a white one in here. And I almost wonder, there it is. It's a little mini Casper pumpkin. Oh, there's another one over there. So anyway, that's fun. We did do pumpkins in ground in our big bed, our in-ground garden. We decided not to do watermelons this year because we just struggle with them. They always get blossom end rot. We don't have enough calcium in the soil. Even when we amend, we always have trouble. So this year we did pumpkins. I grow them for ornamental purposes, but I did start a few pumpkin pie varieties because I have canned those to make homemade pumpkin pie, and it worked out divine. So I would love to do that and at least be able to put up like 4 to 6 cans a year or jars because we really just make that around the holidays. So that would be great to do that. But the last few years, any of the ones I've grown ended up being more of the ornamental varieties. So they're either like the white Casper ones, the mini ones, the lumpy bumpy ones, whatever. They're really fun. And that was something I really enjoyed growing and harvesting last year. And then also, of course, using for fall decorations inside and outside the house. So, so we did that again this year. I'll show you those vines when we get over there. I feel so winded. I'm tired. We've been being really lazy this weekend. This is our beautiful willow tree that we put in, gosh, I guess 4 years ago. And I'll show you while I'm standing in the shade for a minute. This garden, I call this my husband's garden, but because he does like 99% of the work in this garden, not me. This garden does really well. I don't enjoy working in it because it's like full sun. Like you see right now, it's getting sun just because, I mean, it's getting shade only because the sun is fixing to go down. But otherwise, like that only provides some sunset shade, and then these big trees back here do. But see, the sun comes over this way, and this is like just blasted with heat. So it's just, sorry, I was looking at my foot. Less fun to work in. My husband grows like the biggest squash ever. I don't know how he does that. I've never been able to replicate his success. But this is one plant right here. Do yours get that big? I mean, I even fertilize my flowers more than he fertilizes vegetables, and his vegetables are amazing. He's growing some beautiful bell peppers this year. Best either one of us have ever done with bells. And just take you through here. Yeah, the garden's pretty dry right now. This garden is a lot of clay, and he just tilled it the other day, so it looks nice. There's not any weeds and all that. But usually after we get rain, you can't even walk in here for like days. These are the most beautiful, perfect bell peppers I've ever seen that we've been able to grow. Okay, and then we come over here. And this year when we planted, I made notes in my calendar as to what everything was. This is a sweet pepper variety. I think it's called lunchbox pepper. And it's been really prolific. I actually just cut up and put probably 15 or 20 in the freezer. A few hours ago, my husband just walked by me with another new basket. This is okra, which is really late to the game this year. It's not big enough to start whipping. We whip our okra. Oh my God, I see baby okra. Yeah, so soon we'll start trimming these up basically, and it helps them to fruit more. But look at that. There's a baby okra. We almost didn't grow okra this year, but we had this whole space here where we were like, well, let's give it a go. That's all the yellow crookneck squash. And this is a row of beans that is flowering and putting on, but we have a bunny or something eating a lot of the beans. And that's 2 cotton plants that we started. It is a cousin to okra. If you don't know, you can tell, and you get close to it, the leaves look almost identical. We grew okra a few years ago and just thought we would do it again for fun. This is how my husband grows his tomatoes. He cages them and they hold up well. I'll show you on the other end. I planted a row of flowers in here twice this year, mostly zinnias. Neither time, almost no germination. Went back and did a row of sunflowers and only had maybe 50% or like 15% germination. You can see that there's just like literally 7 sunflowers. So don't know what's up with that. Don't know if it's the spot or what. It's a bummer. I usually love seeing like a row of zinnias. Got a regular basil out here to try and help potentially with pest deterrent. Oh my gosh, I just spotted my first gourd. Look at that. So fun. We'll go check that out in a minute. Over here, this is how my husband grows cucumbers. He'll just plant them in 2 rows. When the vines get a little bit longer, then he'll put up an arched trellis and just kind of throw them up on the trellis. Not the whole thing, but just kind of like the end of the vines. Just to kind of, so you can see better to pick the fruit. And they do really well that way. So coming in here. You can see that when the plant is caged like this, you can see the fruit really well. And you can also reach through it if you need to. Sometimes that's necessary. But anyways, our tomatoes were really late this year, so none of them are really popping off yet. We've had maybe, I don't know, 10 or 12, give or take, in the last 2 weeks. But you can see they're loaded up with green fruits. So that will be fun, because that's just our favorite thing to can. Lots of tomatoes. And I think we'll really have to debate or discuss what varieties to grow next year. Because this year, I'll put them at the bottom of the screen. I have them in my calendar and I don't remember off the top of my head, but we did 3 different varieties from seeds, as well as all the fun ones I wanted to try, which I knew we were going to go over in the cottage garden. And then right before it was time to actually plant, because my seedlings were behind, I bought, I think, maybe 6 from the store that were bigger. So they were different varieties, and one was Early Girl. That's one of my favorites because it actually fruits earlier, but the fruits are small. So my husband doesn't love them. They're not salad tomato size or like that big around. My husband loves like the big, huge slicer ones. So I think what ended up happening is this year we ended up growing several of varieties that we just don't really love. So but in the end, it'll be okay, you know, if we can make some stuff out of them. All right, now we're over here by the pumpkins. And you can see my husband is just kind of tilling around the vines just to kind of keep things cleaned up. And looks like this is the first time I've come over here and walked over here and actually seen these in a few weeks, you guys. So this is pretty exciting. These are all little Casper pumpkins. I won't know if they're the mini variety or the regular variety until like just more time goes by and they get bigger. But that's still so exciting. They're so cute. The pumpkins I had to actually sow multiple times as well. This is another vine. It looks like it's a white one. Okay, let's see what we got over here. This one has no fruit on it yet. Let's see. It looks like the white ones are the only ones so far. Yeah, I'm seeing flowers in there, but no other fruit. Different leaf patterns. So this is a plant and this is a plant. So these are different. So we'll see what happens. The gourds I also had to reseed. So we had a lot of trouble with germination this year. Wow, and he didn't even throw this arm up on the arch. But oh my god. This is why, okay, I gotta fix this because I want to be able to walk through my arch. Okay. So you come back over here, buddy. Okay. You come over here. These stink, by the way, if you've ever grown gourds. Their leaves stink. They smell musky. Ugh. Okay, just gonna stick you in there. Gotta be able to walk through. Which one are you coming from? I'm about to break you off. I know I am. Yep. Sorry. Okay. All right, cool. Can you see through the sun? That's kind of cool looking. Looks like it's got a halo around it. Okay, I had to pause for pictures and then come over on this other side. Look at these little bitty babies. Oh my gosh, so fun. And these two, growing these mostly for fun, but also we will do a craft project with these come fall or even maybe over winter where we hollow these out and paint them to make actual birdhouses. So fun. All right, so camera's getting hot and dying. So we saw a lot of stuff. Anyways, hope the video is not too long. If you're still here, thank you for being here. And if you love the garden tours, I hope you subscribe if you haven't already. And I hope you guys have a wonderful day and week. Mwah.